No, I have to hit buttons to there.
Okay, so welcome to Amy Austin, who's a candidate running for West Lafayette School Board. And Amy, why don't you take just a minute and tell us about yourself?
Thank you. I'm really happy to have this opportunity. My name's Amy Austin. I've lived in West Lafayette for 22 years, and I have 3 kids. My oldest just graduated last spring, and she's at University of Iowa in Iowa City. And my middle child is a senior. That was poor planning on my part, but we're getting through it. And then their little brother Jack is in 8th grade. And I was a very active parent council volunteer all the way through since my oldest was in kindergarten. And my involvement with the schools led me to run for school board 4 years ago during COVID, which was a completely different experience than this time around. So I am running for reelection. I've served as the secretary and as the president of the school board. I've also been the legislative liaison. So I've represented our interests with the Indiana School Board Association, and I've also gone to Indianapolis and liaised with our representatives and advocated for not just West Lafayette's kids, but all Indiana students. My educational background was I majored in special education, and I never was actually able to teach because I thought we were moving and we never did. And then we opened a business. So I work for my husband and we are government contractors at InSpace and we have an office in Lafayette.
Thank you so much for that. So, for my first question, could you briefly describe the role of the school board in managing the corporation? How does it relate the role of administrators and teachers and parents?
Okay, so this is a common misconception about the school board and one that I also had um, before I was on it. We do 3 things. We hire and supervise the superintendent, we set policy, and we oversee the budget. And that is all. So if you've got a problem with your math teacher, I can't help you. And if your 3rd grade teacher is awesome, I will pass that along to this principal of her building, but I'm not able to give her a raise. That is all contracted. And we interface with the School Board Association, as I said, and the Parks Department and Greater Lafayette Area Special Services and several other organizations um, to represent the school's interests with them. But we are not supervising anyone but the superintendent. And the way I do that personally is mostly through support. I understand from being loosely in education that it's a really hard job and it's lonely at the top. And it's a privilege to be able to support my superintendent and our principals and other administrators and our teachers and to make sure that they have the tools they need to do the great job that they do.
Okay, so the next question I have for you is a fill in the blank question.
Okay.
The public schools are blank.
The public schools are underfunded. And I think that's why my service in Indianapolis means so much to me. Um, they're redirecting a lot of funding from the public schools into charter schools and micro schools now. And it's making it really difficult. At the same time, they're asking us to do more and more for our students, which we're happy to do because we love our students and we want to do everything we can for them. But it seems like every year the public or the state government or the federal government wants more and more from the public schools for less and less investment. And what I would really love to see as a parent and as a school board member and as someone who deeply cares about public education, I would really love to see the day when we don't have to advocate for greater funding or pass a referendum because the state is giving us exactly what we need to do a fantastic job.
You. Staying on this whole budget and funding issue, school finances are extraordinarily complex due to state regulations. What have you done to learn about public education finance? And what have you learned that enables you to oversee the budget?
It's so complicated. And luckily, my background in government contracting helped me understand the different silos of money. We have different projects that we're working on. We have to segregate the funding by federal law. And at the same kind of level, the schools have an education fund, a general fund, operating fund, so on. And so that background really enabled me to have a basis in understanding how all of that works. I have taken advantage of a lot of the training from the School Board Association, which has been invaluable. And I've also had the privilege of working with Michelle Cronk, our CFO. She is phenomenal. She teaches other people how to CFO, and she has an amazing way of breaking things down so that they're understandable. We also have had training from Mike Reuter, who comes in periodically and helps us understand the big picture funding and where things are going and projections and so on. And I've learned an awful lot from him. So we've really been fortunate to have had the opportunity to learn from these people. And I ask a lot of questions, and I'm not too proud to say, okay, explain that to me again like I'm in kindergarten, because I'm not quite there yet. And through the mentorship of Rachel and Tom and Brad and Karen Springer and Alan Karpik, who were my colleagues in the beginning on my term, I have had a great deal of excellent training, and I've been really fortunate. But it is hard.
Yeah, it is very complex. School boards have become rather a forum for hot button social issues, often from organizations that are external to the district. How do you ensure that concerns of local constituents are heard and that decisions are based on their input?
I have always had my personal phone number. Sorry about the dinging. I don't know how to make that stop. Let me. I've always had my personal phone number on the internet, so that people can reach me directly. I am always thrilled to talk to constituents at board meetings, in the grocery store, at coffee dates. Um, I've never turned down those conversations, because the people who make our school special are our families. And I want our students to get a world-class education. Absolutely. And sometimes people will have different ideas about what that looks like than I have. And I'm always willing to talk with our local constituents, and I try to drown out some of the messaging. It's funny in West Lafayette because a lot of it's backwards. If people are banning books in the South, and Florida, we are, people here will be fired up to not do that. So or masks were similar, where people were real fired up in other states to take them off, and people here were more like, let's leave them on. So that's always interesting, and it helps me to be able to discern what's coming from outside and what's actually here. Just having lived here for a really long time helps.
Okay, thank you. So we're about a minute left in this interview. Is there anything that you would like to tell your constituents in the
Uh,
remaining time?
Where did the time go? I would like to tell them that it has been a privilege to serve on the school board for the last 4 years, and I really hope you'll give me the opportunity to continue. I hope that I've made the people who voted for me 4 years ago proud, and I hope that I will continue to do so, because I'll be given the chance to. And I appreciate all the wonderful support we've gotten from the community as we've gone through some major changes. And I hope that you'll call me if there's anything that we need to talk about, because I'm always here. 765-409-4009. It's so easy.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Amy. And thank
Thank
you for your
you.
service.
You're very welcome. It's been great to talk with you today.